What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to our 31 Days of Horror, and we're now deep into our monster section. This is our third movie. We're covering 1954's Godzilla. So we've covered two American monster movies that really focused on the atomic age with Tarantula and them, and now we're going to focus on the Japanese version, which came out at the same time, right? So we had Tarantula in 1955, them in 1954. This is from 1954 in Japan, and we're going to talk about the Japanese version of the movie, not the version that American audiences saw with a lot of American pieces cut in with American newsreaders in the English dub. We're going to actually talk about the Japanese version because it's a very different movie. And when you think about Godzilla, you think of, kind of all the campy rubber suit guys, fighting all the other monsters. But this version was a very different movie, and this was Japan, less than a decade coming after, Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And they had suffered all the horrors of nuclear war, right? They had the atomic bomb dropped on them. And there was a lot of fear in there, and Godzilla was really a monster that was really playing into that fear. And it was taken very seriously. If you watch the first Godzilla movie, there's not a sense of humor in the movie. It's not a tongue-in-cheek movie. It's a monster movie, but it takes itself very seriously, and it's a very serious subject. After Godzilla, basically, destroys some boats after some atomic testing, he is reawoken. The boats get destroyed, and they find out one survivor that talks about this ancient sea monster, Godzilla. And, and then they dispatch other boats, right? These 10 frigates to go out and drop depth charges, but they don't destroy Godzilla either. And they realize it's almost impossible to kill. And as the survivors to the attack start dying of radiation sickness, they also realize that Godzilla is also radioactive. And it's actually a pretty bleak movie. And it's interesting, as I remember as a kid, we loved the Godzilla movies. It was, amazing. But Godzilla was, the original movie was definitely scary, dark. It just was, it was definitely a different movie. And it's funny when I think about the scariest scene of the movie, I'll probably go back realistically to the first time we see Godzilla. Because again, for the movie that takes itself very seriously, that would have been very terrifying for those villagers at the time, or the folks, not villagers, but the folks at the time seeing Godzilla the first time. And it's very, very well done. I would ask you to go back, and if you want to watch it, there's dub versions. You can watch it with the subtitles. But go watch the Japanese version, not the American version. It's a very, very different movie with a different tone. And it's just incredibly well done. So tomorrow we're going to talk about Godzilla, his American cousin, or, his American doppelganger, whatever you want to use the language for it. But we're going to talk about King Kong, the original from 1933. And there's the cool thing with King Kong is I would actually tell you, I believe that the 78 movie's good. Peter Jackson's version is great, although an hour or two long. And I would say the newer version, Skull Island was a good King Kong movie too. So I think King Kong's gotten a lot of good treatment, so we'll talk about him tomorrow. But as always, stay scary, and thank you for checking out the channel.